I've been watching my family fall apart for 3 years now, and I'm done pretending I don't see it. My name is David Brennan. I'm 46 years old, and I built Brennan Industrial Equipment from nothing. Started in a garage 20 years ago with a welding torch and a dream that probably should have died in that garage. But it didn't. Now I've got 40 employees, 3 warehouses, and a reputation that means something in this city. That reputation is the only thing I've got left that hasn't been poisoned. My son Jake is 32. Good kid. Was a good kid. I don't know what he is anymore. He married Melissa 3 years ago, and that's when everything started going wrong. I didn't see it at first. Nobody did. She's beautiful. I'll give her that. Long dark hair, green eyes that could sell ice to an Eskimo. She smiled at our family like she'd won the lottery, and maybe she thought she had. My wife Ann saw it before I did. Ann's always been sharper than me about people. I can read a balance sheet and spot a bad deal from a mile away, but people? That's her territory. She started making comments about 6 months after the wedding. Little things at first. Did you notice how Melissa answers for Jake now? She's very concerned about our finances, isn't she? Jake seems tired lately. Doesn't he seem tired to you? I brushed it off. Marriage is hard. I remember our first year. We fought about everything from how to load the dishwasher to whether my mother could visit on Sundays. But we worked through it. I figured Jake and Melissa would too. I was wrong. It's Tuesday night, and I'm sitting in my home office staring at my computer screen. The house is quiet. Ann's asleep upstairs. It's past midnight, but I can't sleep. Haven't been sleeping well for months. Every time I close my eyes, I see Jake's face at last Sunday's dinner. He looked hollow. That's the only word for it. Like someone had scooped out everything that made him Jake and left behind a shell that smiled at the right times and said the right things, but wasn't really there. Melissa had her hand on his arm the whole night. Every time he started to say something, she'd squeeze and he'd stop. Every time Ann or I asked him a direct question, Melissa would jump in with an answer, and Jake would just nod and smile that empty smile. My son is drowning, and I'm watching it happen. I pull up my email and stare at the message I've been avoiding for 3 days. It's from Tom Bradley, an old friend who works in private investigation now. I'd called him 2 weeks ago, feeling like a traitor to my own son, and asked him about surveillance equipment. He'd sent me a list of options with links and prices. "You sure about this, David?" he'd asked on the phone. "Once you start looking, you can't unsee what you find. I need to know what's happening to my family." "All right, but be careful. Sometimes the truth is worse than the suspicion." I order the camera. It arrives in 3 days, a small package that feels heavy with implications. The camera itself is tiny, no bigger than a thumb drive, with a mounting bracket that can stick to any surface. It connects to an app on my phone and sends alerts when it detects motion. The video quality is supposed to be excellent, even in low light. I wait until the following Sunday. We have dinner with Jake and Melissa every Sunday. It's been a tradition since before they got married, though lately it feels more like an obligation than a celebration. Melissa always volunteers to help Ann in the kitchen, which means Ann is stuck listening to complaints about Jake's hours at work, his lack of ambition, his failure to appreciate everything Melissa does for him. Meanwhile, I sit in the living room with my son and try to have a conversation. "How's the job, Jake?" "Good." He's looking at his phone. He's always looking at his phone now. "They treating you well at Morrison and Associates?" "Yeah, Dad, it's fine." "You still working on that Jefferson project?" "No, that wrapped up last month." It's like pulling teeth. This is my son, the kid who used to tell me everything. We used to go fishing together every Saturday morning when he was in high school. He'd talk my ear off about school, about girls, about his plans for the future. He wanted to be an architect. Had the talent for it, too. His sketches were incredible, full of detail and vision. Now he works as a project manager for a construction firm, pushing papers and managing timelines. It's a good job, solid, but it's not what he wanted. And somewhere between the wedding and now, he stopped talking about his dreams. "Jake, is everything okay?" He looks up from his phone. For just a second, I see something in his eyes. Fear? Pain? But then it's gone, replaced by that practiced smile. "Everything's great, Dad. Why do you ask?" "You just seem tired." "Work's been busy, that's all." Melissa appears in the doorway, wiping her hands on a dish towel. "Dinner's ready. Jake, come help me set the table." He jumps up like she's pulled a string, and I watch him follow her into the dining room. Anne catches my eye from the kitchen. She looks as worried as I feel. Dinner is tense. Melissa dominates the conversation, talking about a new furniture set she wants to buy, a vacation to Cancun she's been researching, renovations she wants to make to their house. Every suggestion costs money. Jake nods along, but I see the way his jaw tightens when she mentions the price tags. That's a lot of spending, I say, trying to sound casual. How are you two doing financially? Melissa's smile doesn't waver. We're fine, David. Jake got a raise last year. Did you? I look at Jake. Yeah. He's pushing food around his plate. A small one. A raise is a raise, Melissa says brightly, and Jake's going to ask for another one next month. Aren't you, honey? I don't know if it's the right time. Of course it's the right time. You've been there 4 years. You deserve it. Anne changes the subject, asking about Melissa's sister, and the conversation moves on. But I can't stop watching Jake. The way he slumps in his chair, the way he barely eats, the way he flinches every time Melissa touches him. After dinner, I help Anne clean up while Jake and Melissa sit in the living room. Through the doorway, I can see them on the couch. Melissa is scrolling through her phone, showing Jake something. He's nodding, but his expression is blank. This can't continue, Anne whispers. She's scrubbing a plate with more force than necessary. He's miserable. I know. We have to do something. I am doing something. She looks at me sharply. What does that mean? I bought a camera. I'm going to install it in the house. See what's really going on when we're not around. Anne's eyes widen. David, that's necessary. It's necessary, Anne. Our son is in trouble, and I need to know how bad it is. She's quiet for a long moment, her hands still in the soapy water. Then she nods. Okay, but be careful. If Melissa finds out, she won't. 2 days later, I go to Jake and Melissa's house. They live in a nice neighborhood about 20 minutes from us, in a 3-bedroom ranch that Jake bought right after college. It was supposed to be his starter home, but with Melissa's spending habits, I doubt they'll ever save enough for something bigger. I tell them I need to borrow Jake's pressure washer. It's a weak excuse, but Jake doesn't question it. He's at work, and Melissa lets me into the garage with barely a glance. She's getting ready to go out, dressed in tight jeans and a low-cut top that makes me uncomfortable to look at. She's my daughter-in-law. I shouldn't notice things like that. Take whatever you need, David. I'm meeting a friend for lunch. Thanks, Melissa. She leaves, and I wait until I hear her car pull out of the driveway. Then I go inside. The house is a mess. Dishes piled in the sink, laundry draped over furniture, magazines and shopping bags scattered across every surface. This isn't the home of 2 working professionals. This is chaos. I move through the rooms quickly, looking for the right spot. The living room is too open. The kitchen doesn't have a good angle. The bedroom feels like too much of a violation, even now. Finally, I settle on the hallway between the living room and the bedrooms. There's a smoke detector on the ceiling, and I mount the camera right next to it, angled to cover the living room, the kitchen entrance, and the hallway to the bedrooms. It takes less than 5 minutes. I test it with my phone, and the image comes through clear and sharp. Perfect. I grab the pressure washer from the garage and leave, locking the door behind me. That night, I download the app and set it to send me alerts for any motion after 10 p.m. I don't tell Anne what I've done. She knows I'm doing something, but the details would just worry her more. Better to wait until I have something concrete. For 3 days, nothing unusual happens. The alerts show Jake and Melissa moving through the house in the evening, watching TV, going to bed. Normal stuff. I start to think maybe I'm paranoid. Maybe Anne and I are seeing problems that aren't really there. Then comes Thursday night. I'm in bed, almost asleep, when my phone buzzes. Motion detected. 2:17 a.m. I grab the phone and open the app, expecting to see Jake going to the bathroom or getting a glass of water. Jake is walking down the hallway, but he's not walking on his own. Melissa is behind him, her hands on his shoulders, guiding him. His movements are slow, mechanical. His eyes are open, but he's not looking at anything. He's not seeing anything. He looks drugged. Melissa guides him into the living room and toward the basement door. I'd forgotten they even had a basement. It's not finished, just a cement floor and exposed beams, storage for boxes and old furniture. Why would they be going down there at 2 a.m.? The angle of the camera doesn't show the basement door clearly, but I see Melissa open it and guide Jake through. Then she follows, and the door closes behind them. I sit up in bed, my heart hammering. Anne stirs beside me. David, what's wrong? Nothing. Go back to sleep. But it's not nothing. I sit there for 20 minutes, watching the empty hallway, waiting for them to come back up. They don't. Finally, at 2:43 a.m., the basement door opens. Melissa comes out alone, closes the door behind her, and walks back to the bedroom. Jake doesn't come out. I barely sleep the rest of the night. The image of Jake's blank face, his mechanical movements, plays on a loop in my mind. What is she doing to him? What's in that basement? The next morning, I'm at my office by 7, too wired to sit at home. I try to focus on work, but every 5 minutes I'm checking my phone, watching the live feed from the camera. The house is empty, Melissa's car is gone. Jake should be at work too. At 10 a.m., I can't take it anymore. I call Jake's office. Morrison and Associates. How may I direct your call? Jake Brennan, please. One moment. The line rings and rings and rings. Finally, it goes to voicemail. You've reached Jake Brennan. I'm away from my desk right now. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I hang up without leaving a message and try his cell. It goes straight to voicemail. The knot in my stomach tightens. I spend the rest of the day trying to work and failing. Every time I close my eyes, I see Jake's empty expression. Every time my phone buzzes, I expect another alert from the camera. At 6 p.m., I watch Jake come home. He looks exhausted, his shoulders slumped, his face pale. Melissa's car is already in the driveway. Through the camera, I watch him enter the house, drop his briefcase by the door, and collapse onto the couch. Melissa appears with a glass of something. Water? Juice? She hands it to him, smiling, and he drinks it without question. 20 minutes later, he's nodding off on the couch. By 7 p.m., he's completely out. His head lolled back, mouth slightly open. Melissa sits beside him, scrolling through her phone, completely unconcerned. This isn't normal. This isn't marriage. This is something else entirely. I need to know what's in that basement. As the story unfolds, hit the hype button, like, subscribe, and write in the comments. Would you forgive them or walk away? Friday morning, I call in sick to work for the first time in 5 years. Anne looks at me with concern over her coffee cup, but she doesn't ask questions. She knows something is wrong. She can always tell. What are you going to do? She asks quietly. I'm going to find out what's happening to our son. Be careful, David. I wait until 9:30, when I know Jake will be at work and Melissa will likely be out. She rarely stays home during the day. Too boring, I guess, when there's shopping to be done and friends to meet for lunch. I drive to their house and park down the street, watching. Melissa's car is in the driveway, which complicates things. I'm debating whether to come back later when the garage door opens and her car backs out. She's wearing sunglasses and talking on her phone, laughing at something. She looks happy, carefree. Nothing like a woman whose husband is falling apart. I give her 5 minutes to make sure she's really gone, then I drive up and park in front of the house. I still have the key Jake gave me years ago for emergencies. This counts as an emergency. That the house is quiet when I let myself in. The mess from earlier in the week is worse now. It smells stale, like old food and unwashed laundry. I head straight for the basement door. It's locked. That stops me cold. Why would they lock the basement door? I try the handle again, pulling hard, but it doesn't budge. It's not just locked. There's a deadbolt installed on the outside. A deadbolt on the outside to keep someone in. My hands are shaking as I pull out my phone and call Tom Bradley. David, hey, how's the camera working out? I need your help. Can you come to my son's house right now? There's a pause. What's going on? I can't explain over the phone. Please, Tom. I need someone else to see this. Give me the address. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I wait for him outside, pacing the driveway, checking my watch every 30 seconds. When his truck finally pulls up, I'm wound so tight I feel like I might snap. Tom's in his 50s, built like a bulldog, with gray hair and sharp eyes that have seen too much. He was a cop for 20 years before going private. If anyone can help me make sense of this, it's him. Show me, he says without preamble. I lead him inside and point to the basement door. He tries the handle, examines the deadbolt, then looks at me. You got a key for this? No. You want me to pick it? I nod. It takes him less than a minute. The deadbolt slides free and the door swings open. A set of wooden stairs leads down into darkness. Tom finds a light switch, and a single bare bulb illuminates the space below. We go down together. The basement is unfinished, like I remembered. Concrete floor, exposed beams, boxes stacked against the walls. But there's something new. In the far corner, someone has set up a small space with a mattress on the floor, a folding chair, and a card table. On the table is a laptop, closed, and a pill bottle. Tom picks up the pill bottle and reads the label. His expression hardens. Ambien, prescribed to Melissa Brennan. 30-day supply filled 3 weeks ago. He shakes the bottle. It's nearly empty. These are sleeping pills, David. Strong ones. I feel sick. She's drugging him. That would be my guess. He opens the laptop. It powers on without a password, and the screen shows a web browser with multiple tabs open. Tom clicks through them. Online gambling sites. The Jesus. Poker, blackjack, sports betting. Look at these transactions. I lean over his shoulder. The numbers make me dizzy. Thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands. All losses. When did this start? Tom asks. I scroll down, looking at dates. About 2 years ago. Small bets at first, then bigger, much bigger. I do quick math in my head. She's lost over $100,000. Does your son know? No, he can't. He would have said something. But even as I say it, I'm not sure. Would Jake have told me? Or would Melissa have convinced him to keep it quiet, to handle it themselves, to not worry his parents? Tom closes the laptop and stands. We need to document this. Photos, video, everything. And we need to figure out where she's getting the money. We spend the next hour photographing every inch of the basement. The mattress with its thin pillow and single blanket. The pill bottles, the laptop. Tom finds a notebook in one of the boxes, filled with Melissa's handwriting. It's a record of bets, wins, losses. The losses far outnumber the wins. She's got a problem, Tom says. A serious addiction, and she's funding it somehow. Your son makes good money, but not enough for this. Jake took out a second mortgage last year, I say slowly. He told me it was for renovations. New kitchen, new bathrooms. But I was here 2 months ago. Nothing's been renovated. Tom's face is grim. There's your answer. She's gambling away your son's equity. And when she runs out of money, she'll find more. They always do. I think about Jake's hollow eyes, his exhausted face. And she's keeping him sedated so he doesn't figure it out. Looks that way. We go back upstairs. Tom locks the basement door behind us, setting the deadbolt the way we found it. As we're leaving, I check the camera feed on my phone. Still empty. But I don't know how much time we have before Melissa comes home. We sit in Tom's truck in the driveway, and I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff. What do I do, Tom? Go to the police? With what evidence? She's got a prescription for those pills. She could say Jake takes them willingly. And the gambling. That's not illegal. Stupid, but not illegal. She's drugging my son and stealing from him. Prove it. You need more than a basement setup and some betting receipts. You need proof that she's giving him those pills without his knowledge. You need bank statements showing where the money's going. You need a case, David. Right now, all you've got is suspicion and trespassing. I want to argue, but I know he's right. So what do? You watch, you wait, you gather evidence, and when you've got enough, you burn her world down. He drives away, and I sit in my car, staring at Jake's house. This place should be full of life, of hope, of a young couple building their future together. Instead, it's a prison, and my son is the prisoner. I don't go home right away. I can't face Anne yet, not with this knowledge burning a hole in my chest. Instead, I drive to my office and lock myself in, pulling up every financial record I have on Jake. 3 years ago, when Jake married Melissa, he was in good shape. $60,000 in savings. A small retirement account. No debt except his mortgage. He was careful with money. I taught him to be. We'd sit at the kitchen table when he was a teenager, and I'd show him how to balance a checkbook, how to invest, how to make his money work for him. Now? I pull his credit report, using the information I've kept from when I co-signed his first car loan. It's a disaster. The second mortgage Tom mentioned. 3 credit cards maxed out. A personal loan for $25,000. Another for $15,000, all opened in the last 18 months. Total debt, over $200,000. My son is drowning in debt he doesn't even know he has. Melissa has been running up bills in his name, feeding her addiction and keeping him too drugged to notice. The rage hits me like a physical force. I have to grip the edge of my desk to keep from putting my fist through the computer screen. This woman came into my family, smiled at us with those pretty green eyes, and systematically destroyed my son's life. And I let it happen. I saw the signs and told myself it was normal marriage trouble. I saw Jake fading away and told myself he was just tired, just stressed, just adjusting to married life. I should have known better. I should have acted sooner. But I'm acting now. I spend the rest of the afternoon making calls. First to my lawyer, asking hypothetical questions about proving financial fraud. Then to my accountant, asking about tracing money through gambling sites. Then to Tom again, asking about surveillance that would hold up in court. By the time I drive home, it's after 7. Anne is in the kitchen, making dinner, but she turns when she hears me come in. You look awful. I feel awful. I sit at the kitchen table and put my head in my hands. Anne, it's worse than we thought. Much worse. I tell her everything. The basement, the pills, the gambling, the debt. She listens without interrupting, her face growing paler with each detail. When I finish, she sinks into the chair across from me. That poor boy. David, we have to get him away from her. I know, but it's not that simple. If I go to Jake now and tell him what I found, what do you think will happen? Anne is quiet for a moment. He won't believe you. She's convinced him that we're the problem, that we don't understand their marriage, that we're trying to control him. Exactly. She's been gaslighting him for years. If I confront him without proof he can see with his own eyes, she'll twist it. She'll make me the villain, and Jake will choose her over us, because that's what abusers do. They isolate their victims, make them dependent, cut them off from anyone who might help them see the truth. So, what do? We document everything. Tom's going to help me set up additional cameras, get copies of financial records, track her movements. When we have enough evidence that Jake can't deny, then we move. Not before. Anne reaches across the table and takes my hand. Her fingers are cold. This is going to get ugly, isn't it? Yes. Can we win? We have to, because if we don't, we lose our son. That night, I can't sleep. Again. I lie in bed staring at the ceiling while Anne tosses beside me. Around midnight, my phone buzzes with an alert from the camera. Motion detected. 12:34 a.m. I open the app and watch. Jake is on the couch, awake but barely. His eyes are half closed and he's swaying slightly. Melissa comes into frame with another glass of liquid. She hands it to him, and he drinks it without question. Within minutes, he's out cold. Melissa picks up her phone and makes a call. I can't hear what she's saying, but she's smiling, laughing. She paces the living room, animated and happy, while my son lies unconscious a few feet away. After about 10 minutes, she hangs up and checks Jake. She shakes him. He doesn't respond. Satisfied, she grabs her purse and car keys and leaves. At 12:47 a.m., my daughter-in-law walks out of her house, leaving my drugged son alone, and drives away. I'm out of bed in seconds, pulling on clothes. David? Anne sits up. What's happening? She left. She drugged Jake and left the house. I'm going to follow her. It's almost 1 a.m. Where could she be going? That's what I'm going to find out. I'm in my car and pulling out of the driveway within 5 minutes. I know it's a long shot. She's got a significant head start, and I have no idea which direction she went. But I have to try. I drive toward Jake's house, scanning every side street and intersection. Nothing. I'm about to give up when I see her car parked outside a bar downtown. The place is called the Meridian, a upscale spot that caters to young professionals. Not the kind of place you'd expect to see a married woman at 1 a.m. I park across the street and wait. Through the front windows, I can see her inside. She's at the bar, talking to a man. He's tall, well-dressed, probably in his late 30s. They're sitting close, their heads together, and even from this distance, I can see the body language. This isn't a casual conversation between friends. This is intimate. I grab my phone and start recording through the window. The video quality isn't great, but it's clear enough. Melissa laughing, touching the man's arm. The man leaning in, whispering something in her ear, Melissa's hand on his leg. They stay at the bar for another hour. At 2:15 a.m., they leave together. Melissa's arm is looped through his as they walk to a hotel 2 blocks down. The Grayson Hotel. I know it well. It's where I stay when I have clients visiting from out of town. Nice rooms, expensive. I watch them enter the hotel lobby together, and something in my chest cracks. My son is at home, drugged into unconsciousness, while his wife checks into a hotel with another man. I sit in my car for a long time, my hands gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turn white. Part of me wants to go into that hotel, find their room, and drag Melissa out by her hair. Another part wants to call Jake right now, wake him up if I can, and tell him everything. But I do neither. Because Tom's right. I need more than this. I need a case so airtight that even Jake, in his drugged, manipulated state, can't deny what's happening. I drive home as the sun starts to rise. Anne is asleep on the couch, waiting for me. I cover her with a blanket and go to my office, uploading the video from my phone to my computer. Then I call Tom. It's 6 a.m, David. She's having an affair. I followed her last night. She drugged Jake, left him alone, and met a man at a hotel. There's a pause. Then, send me everything you've got. Photos, video, all of it. Who could the man be? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. If I'm going to destroy her, I need to know exactly who I'm destroying her with. I'll find out. Give me a couple days. I hang up and sit back in my chair, exhaustion pulling at me, but I can't sleep. Not yet. I open my laptop and start a document, typing out everything I know. Dates, times, amounts, the basement, the pills, the gambling, the affair, every piece of evidence I have or will have. This is war, and in war, you need a battle plan. Sunday morning, Jake sleeps until noon. When he finally comes downstairs, he looks younger somehow, less worn. The fog has lifted from his eyes. "How do you feel?" Anne asks, setting a plate of food in front of him. "Like I've been hit by a truck, but also clearer. I can think straight for the first time in months." He picks at the eggs. "How long has she been drugging me?" "We don't know for sure. Maybe a year, maybe longer." "A year." He says it like he can't quite believe it. "A whole year of my life, gone. What else have I missed? What else has she done that I don't remember?" "We'll figure it out," I say. "But first, we need to secure your finances. I've already talked to my lawyer. Tomorrow morning, you're going to file for divorce. And you're going to freeze all joint accounts, cancel all credit cards, and put fraud alerts on your credit." She'll be furious. Let her be furious. She should have thought about that before she ruined your life. Jake is quiet for a moment. Then, "Who's the guy, the one she's been seeing?" "His name is Eric Hartwell. He used to work with me. We had a falling out years ago." "So this is revenge? She's sleeping with him to get back at you?" "I think it started that way. But then it became about money. He's been giving her cash to fuel her gambling habit." "Jesus!" Jake puts his head in his hands. "How did I not see this? How was I so blind?" "You weren't blind. You were drugged. There's a difference." "Is there? Because I feel like an idiot." "You're not an idiot. You're a victim, and victims don't get to blame themselves for what happened to them." Anne sits beside him and takes his hand. "Your father's right. This wasn't your fault, Jake. None of it." He nods, but I can see he doesn't really believe it yet. That kind of healing takes time. More time than we have right now. That afternoon, while Jake is resting, I get a call from Jennifer Hartwell. "I can't wait any longer," she says without preamble. "Eric knows something's up. He's been acting strange, paranoid. I think someone tipped him off." "Who?" I don't know, but if he starts covering his tracks, we'll lose our chance." I think fast. "Okay. Can you keep him busy tomorrow? Keep him away from his office and his computer?" "I can try. Why?" "Because tomorrow is when we burn everything down." I hang up and call Tom. "We're moving up the timeline. Tomorrow. Can you be ready?" "What do you need?" "I need you to deliver copies of everything we have to Eric Hartwell's business partners, and to Melissa's family. Every piece of evidence, every photo, every bank statement. I want them to see exactly who these people are." "That's scorched earth, David." "That's the point." "What about Jake? Is he ready for this?" I look toward the stairs where Jake is sleeping in his childhood bedroom, finally free from the drugs that have kept him prisoner. He will be. Monday morning starts early. Jake, Ann, and I are at my lawyer's office by 8. Gerald Stone is a bulldog of a man, 60 years old with silver hair and a reputation for winning nasty divorces. He takes one look at the evidence I've compiled and whistles low. "This is damning stuff, David. You could probably get her charged criminally if you wanted." "I want her destroyed," I say flatly. "Legally, financially, socially, everything." "Consider it done." He looks at Jake. "You ready for this, son? Once we file, there's no going back." Jake's jaw tightens. "I'm ready." "Good. Sign here, here, and here." Jake signs the divorce papers with a steady hand. I feel a surge of pride watching him. This is the son I raised. Strong, decisive, not the broken man Melissa tried to turn him into. By 9 a.m., the papers are filed. By 9:30, a process server is on his way to Jake's house to deliver them to Melissa, who returned from Cancun last night. By 10, Tom is delivering packages to 8 different addresses. Eric Hartwell's business partners, his golf buddies, the board of directors for his wife's charity, and Melissa's parents, who live 2 hours north and have no idea what their daughter has become. Each package contains the same thing: copies of the affair photos, the gambling records, the bank statements showing the stolen money, and a detailed timeline of everything Melissa and Eric have done over the past year. I don't include Jake's name. This isn't about humiliating my son. This is about exposing the people who hurt him. At 10:45, my phone rings. It's a number I don't recognize. I answer anyway. "You had me served? At my own house?" "You're lucky I didn't have you arrested." "You can't prove anything. Those photos are fake. You doctored them." We both know that's not true, and soon everyone else will know it too. "What are you talking about?" "Check your email, Melissa. Check your parents' email. Check Eric's email. By the end of the day, everyone you know is going to understand exactly what kind of person you are." There's silence on the other end. Then, "You bastard. You miserable, vindictive bastard." "I'm a father protecting his son. You should have thought about the consequences before you destroyed his life." "I loved him." No, you didn't. You used him, and now you're going to pay for it. Jake will never forgive you for this. Never. We'll see. I hang up. My hands are shaking, but it's not from fear. It's adrenaline. The satisfaction of finally striking back. Anne appears in the doorway. That was her? Yes. How did she sound? Desperate, angry, exactly how she should sound. And Eric? Give it time. He'll call soon enough. I'm right. At 11:30, my office phone rings. It's Eric Hartwell. You think you're clever, he says. His voice is cold, controlled. You think you've won. I know I've won. You've destroyed my reputation, my business relationships, my marriage. No, Eric. You destroyed those things when you decided to sleep with my son's wife. I just made sure everyone knew about it. I could sue you for defamation. Go ahead. Everything I've shared is true and documented. You'll lose, and you'll look even worse for trying. This isn't over, Brennan. Yes, it is. You're done. In this city, in this industry, you're finished, and you have no one to blame but yourself. I hang up on him, too. There's a kind of power in having the last word, in not giving them the chance to argue or justify or deflect. Tom calls at noon. It's spreading. Social media is blowing up. Someone posted the photos online, and they're everywhere. Who posted them? No idea. Could be one of the business partners, could be a friend of Jennifer's. Does it matter? No, I guess it doesn't. By 2 p.m., Jake gets a call from Melissa. I watch his face as he listens to her sob and plead and make excuses. He doesn't say much, just listens. Finally, he speaks. I want you out of the house by the end of the week. Take your clothes, your personal items, nothing else. The house is in my name, and it's staying that way. Jake, please, we can work this out. There's nothing to work out. You drugged me, you stole from me, you cheated on me, you destroyed everything we had. There's no coming back from that. I made mistakes, but I love you. No, you don't. I don't even think you know what love is. His voice is steady, stronger than I've heard it in years. Goodbye, Melissa. He hangs up and looks at me. Did I do the right thing? You did the only thing. I'm proud of you, son. He nods, but his eyes are wet. Why doesn't it feel good? Why do I just feel empty? Because you loved her, and losing someone you love, even when they don't deserve your love, still hurts. It's supposed to hurt. That's how you know you're human. Anne hugs him, and the three of us stand there in the kitchen, holding each other while the world burns down around Melissa and Eric. That evening, Jennifer Hartwell calls. It's done. I filed for divorce this morning. Eric's been kicked out of the house. His business partners have severed ties with him, and the charity board asked me to remove him from all future events. She pauses. Thank you, David, for giving me the ammunition I needed. Thank you for helping me protect my son. What happens now? Now we rebuild. Jake rebuilds his life. You rebuild yours. And we make damn sure that Melissa and Eric never forget what happens when they try to destroy good people. I can drink to that. We hang up, and I pour myself a whiskey. Anne joins me, and we sit on the back porch watching the sunset. Is it really over? She asks. Not yet. There's still one more thing I need to do. What? I need to make sure Melissa understands that she's not welcome in this family anymore, that she doesn't get to come back, apologize, and worm her way back into Jake's life. How are you going to do that? I smile, and it's not a nice smile. I'm going to have a conversation with her, face to face, and I'm going to make sure she knows that if she ever comes near my son again, I will make her life a living hell. David, I mean it, Anne. I let her destroy Jake for 3 years because I didn't act fast enough. I'm not making that mistake again. She's quiet for a moment. Then? When? Tomorrow. I'll go to the house tomorrow while Jake is at the lawyer's office. Be careful. Always. But as I sit there, watching the sun disappear behind the trees, I know that careful is the last thing I'm planning to be. Tuesday morning, I drive to Jake and Melissa's house alone. Jake is at Gerald Stone's office, going over the divorce paperwork and figuring out how to untangle the financial mess. Anne wanted to come with me, but I told her no. This is something I need to do myself. Melissa's car is in the driveway. I'm not surprised. Where else would she go? Her parents won't answer her calls. Her friends have all seen the photos and the evidence. She's been cast out, excommunicated, and she has nowhere left to turn. Good. I park on the street and walk to the front door. It's unlocked. I let myself in. The house is a disaster. Worse than before. Clothes are scattered across the floor, broken glass in the kitchen, holes punched in the walls. Melissa's been having a breakdown, and the evidence is everywhere. I find her in the bedroom, sitting on the floor with her back against the bed. She's wearing the same clothes from yesterday, her hair tangled, her face blotchy from crying. She looks up when I enter, and for a moment I see fear in her eyes. Then it's gone, replaced by defiance. Come to gloat? Her voice is hoarse. No. I came to make sure you understand the situation. Oh, I understand it perfectly. You destroyed my life. I exposed what you did. There's a difference. You're a self-righteous bastard, you know that. You think you're so much better than me, but you're not. You're just as manipulative, just as cruel. The difference is, I'm protecting my family. You were destroying it. She laughs, a bitter sound. Protecting your family. Is that what you call spying on your son? Installing cameras in his house without his knowledge? You violated his privacy, his trust, to save him from you, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. He'll never forgive you. He already has, because unlike you, Jake understands the difference between love and control. That hits home. Her face crumples and she starts crying again. I didn't mean for it to go this far. It got out of control. When? When did you lose control? Was it when you maxed out his credit cards? When you forged his signature on loan documents? When you started drugging him so he wouldn't notice what you were doing? I didn't. Don't lie to me, Melissa. Not now. You've lost everything. The least you can do is be honest. She's quiet for a long time. Then, it started small. Just a few online poker games. I won at first, made some money. It felt good, having something that was mine, something Jake didn't know about. So you kept playing? Yeah. And then I started losing. Not a lot at first, just a few $100s here and there. I thought I could win it back. I was sure I could win it back. But you didn't. No, the losses got bigger. I took money from our savings to cover them. Then I got a credit card Jake didn't know about, then another. Before I knew it, I was in too deep. And that's when you met Eric. Her eyes flash. Eric was different. He understood me. He didn't judge me like Jake did. Jake never judged you. He loved you. He loved the idea of me, the perfect wife, the perfect life. But that's not who I am. I'm messy and complicated and a liar, and a cheat, and an addict who destroyed her husband's life to fuel her addiction. You don't know what it's like. The rush, the excitement, nothing else in my life felt like that. Not Jake, not our marriage, nothing. So you sacrificed everything for a feeling. I sacrificed everything because I'm broken, David. I've always been broken. For just a moment, I feel something like pity. This woman is pathetic, sitting on the floor in her ruined house, her ruined life. She's lost everything, and she knows it. But then I remember Jake's hollow eyes, his drugged stupor, his broken trust, and the pity evaporates. Being broken doesn't give you the right to break other people. I know. Do you? Because I'm not convinced. I think you're sitting here feeling sorry for yourself, waiting for someone to rescue you, waiting for Jake to forgive you, waiting for another chance. What if I am? Is that so wrong? Yes, because you don't deserve another chance. You don't deserve forgiveness. You deserve exactly what you're getting. Nothing. You're cruel. I'm honest. And here's more honesty for you. If you ever contact my son again, if you ever try to manipulate him or guilt him or worm your way back into his life, I will make what I've done so far look like mercy. You can't threaten me. I'm not threatening you. I'm promising you. I have evidence of everything you've done. Financial fraud, identity theft, possibly assault for the drugging. I haven't given that evidence to the police yet, but I will if you force my hand. Her face goes white. You wouldn't. Try me. Jake wants to move on with his life. He wants to heal and rebuild. And you're going to let him do that. You're going to disappear, find whatever rock you crawled out from under, and never come back. And if I don't, then I'll bury you so deep you'll never see daylight again. Do you understand me, Melissa? She stares at me, and I can see the calculation in her eyes. She's weighing her options, trying to figure out if I'm bluffing. Then something shifts, and she nods. I understand. Good. I turn to leave, then pause at the door. For what it's worth, I hope you get help. I hope you figure out whatever's broken inside you and fix it. But you're not going to do it by dragging my son down with you. I did love him, she says quietly, in my own way. Your way wasn't good enough. I leave her there and walk out of the house, out of Jake's old life, into the morning sun. My phone rings as I'm getting into my car. It's Tom. You're not going to believe this, he says. Try me. Melissa's parents just filed a restraining order against her, and Eric's wife cleaned out his bank accounts this morning. Every penny. Good. You sound satisfied. I am. They're getting exactly what they deserve. And you? Are you getting what you deserve? I think about Jake, safe at home with Anne. I think about the evidence locked away, ready to be used if Melissa steps out of line. I think about the knowledge that I did everything I could to protect my son. Yeah, Tom, I think I am. I hang up and drive home, feeling lighter than I have in months. The war is almost over. Just one more battle to fight. 3 days later, Jake moves back into his house. We've spent the past 72 hours cleaning every inch of it, erasing all traces of Melissa. Her clothes, her toiletries, her magazines, her furniture. Everything goes into boxes and gets hauled to storage or donated or thrown away. By the time we're done, the house looks like Jake's again. Like the home of a man with a future, not a prison where he was held captive. It feels different, Jake says, standing in the living room. Lighter. That's because the poison is gone, Anne says. What do I do now? I mean, day to day. How do I just live? One day at a time, I tell him. You go to work, you come home, you figure out what makes you happy, and you stop letting other people define your worth. I don't even know what makes me happy anymore. Then you'll figure it out. You're young, Jake. You've got your whole life ahead of you. He nods, but I can see the doubt in his eyes. He's been broken down for so long that he doesn't trust himself anymore. That's going to take time to rebuild. That evening, I get a call from Gerald Stone. We need to talk. Can you come to my office tomorrow? What's wrong? Nothing's wrong, but there's been a development in Jake's case, something you need to see. The next morning, I'm in Gerald's office at 9 sharp. He slides a folder across the desk to me. Melissa's lawyer sent this over yesterday. It's a counterclaim to the divorce. Let me guess, she wants alimony. She wants a lot more than that. She's claiming that Jake knew about the gambling, that he was complicit in the financial decisions, and that he's now trying to paint her as the villain to avoid his own responsibility. That's bullshit. Of course it is. But her lawyer is good. They're going to fight this. Do we have enough evidence to win? Absolutely. The videos alone prove she was drugging him. Add in the affair, the fraud, the gambling records, and it's an open and shut case. But it's going to be messy. Public. She's going to drag Jake's name through the mud in an attempt to save herself. Then we need to get ahead of it. Control the narrative before she can. What do you have in mind? I'm thinking we leak the whole story to the press. Everything. The drugs, the affair with Eric Hartwell, the gambling addiction. Let them print it before she can spin her own version. Gerald frowns. That's risky, David. It'll expose Jake too. Jake's already exposed. Everyone who matters knows what happened. At least this way, we control how the story is told. I'll need to talk to Jake about this. Do it. But I'm telling you, this is the only way to make sure Melissa doesn't turn herself into the victim. That afternoon, I meet with a reporter I know from the local newspaper. His name is Marcus Chen, and he's built a career on exposing corruption and scandal. He's tough, thorough, and fair. I give him everything. The videos, the bank statements, the photos of Melissa and Eric. I tell him about the drugging, the gambling, the debt. And I make it clear that Jake is the victim here, not the perpetrator. Marcus listens, taking notes, his expression growing more shocked with each revelation. This is incredible, he says finally. And you're sure about all of this? You can verify everything? Every word. I've got documentation for all of it. Why come to me? Why not just let the divorce play out in court? Because Melissa's going to try to rewrite history. She's going to claim Jake was complicit, that he knew what was happening. Maybe even that he drove her to it. I want the truth out there before she has a chance to muddy the waters. When do you want this to run? As soon as possible. Give me a week. I need to verify everything independently, talk to sources, build the story. But if it all checks out, I'll run it. Thank you, Marcus. Don't thank me yet. This kind of story destroys lives. Make sure you're ready for the fallout. I'm ready. But as I drive home, I wonder if that's true. Am I ready for what's coming? Is Jake? Are any of us? The story runs 6 days later on the front page of the Metro section. The headline reads, Local woman's gambling addiction and affair destroy marriage. Below it are photos of Melissa and Eric entering the hotel, alongside excerpts from the bank statements and loan documents. The article is thorough and damning. Marcus interviewed Eric's business partners, Melissa's former friends, even got a statement from Jennifer Hartwell about the affair. He quotes from the videos, describing Jake's drugged state and Melissa's late-night absences. And he portrays Jake exactly as he is, a victim of manipulation and fraud. The response is immediate and overwhelming. Social media explodes. People I haven't talked to in years call to offer support. Colleagues reach out to Jake, offering him sympathy and solidarity. But there are also the critics. People who think we shouldn't have aired our dirty laundry in public. People who think Jake should have known what was happening. People who think I'm a vindictive father taking revenge on a troubled woman. I don't care. Let them think what they want. The truth is out there, and that's all that matters. Melissa tries to respond. She gives an interview to a smaller paper, claiming that the story is exaggerated, that she and Jake were going through a rough patch, that she made mistakes but didn't deserve to be publicly crucified. Nobody believes her. The evidence is too overwhelming, and Marcus's article has already shaped the narrative in a way she can't undo. 2 weeks after the article runs, Gerald calls me with good news. Melissa's lawyer withdrew the counterclaim. They're not going to fight the divorce. What changed their mind? I'm guessing they realized they couldn't win. Not with this much public scrutiny. She'll get nothing in the divorce. No alimony, no assets, nothing. Good. There's more. The police contacted me. They're opening an investigation into the fraud and the drugging. It looks like Melissa might face criminal charges. How do you feel about that? Honestly, I feel like justice is being served. I hang up and sit back in my chair, feeling something I haven't felt in months. Satisfaction. Not happiness, not joy, but the deep, bone-level satisfaction of knowing that I fought for my son and won. That evening, I go to Jake's house. He's in the garage, working on something at his workbench. When I come in, he looks up and smiles. It's a real smile, the first genuine one I've seen from him in years. Hey, Dad. Hey, yourself. What are you working on? Just a model, like I used to build when I was a kid. Remember those? I remember. You were good at it. I forgot how much I enjoyed it. How calming it is. I lean against the workbench, watching him fit tiny pieces together with practiced ease. You seem better. I am better. It's like, I don't know, like I'm waking up from a nightmare. That's exactly what it was. I talked to a therapist yesterday. She thinks I might have PTSD from the drugging, from the whole experience. Are you going to keep seeing her? Yeah, I need to. I need to figure out how to trust people again, how to trust myself. You'll get there. I know you will. He sets down the model and looks at me. I'm sorry, Dad, for everything, for bringing Melissa into our lives, for not seeing what she was doing, for letting it go on so long. Stop. You have nothing to apologize for. Nothing. But I do. I let her drive a wedge between us. I stopped calling, stopped coming over, stopped trusting you when you tried to tell me something was wrong. That's what manipulators do, Jake. They isolate their victims, make them doubt everyone else. You didn't let that happen. She made it happen. I just wish I'd been stronger, smarter. You were plenty strong. You survived. And now you're rebuilding. That takes more strength than most people ever need. He nods, and I can see him trying to believe me. It'll take time, but he'll get there. As I'm leaving, he calls after me. Dad, thanks for not giving up on me. Never. You're my son. I'll never give up on you. I drive home through the dark streets, feeling the weight of the past few months finally starting to lift. The war isn't completely over. There's still the criminal investigation, the finalization of the divorce, the long process of Jake's recovery. But we've won the important battles. Melissa is out of our lives, Eric is ruined, and Jake is safe. For now, that's enough. The criminal charges against Melissa come faster than I expected. 3 weeks after the article runs, the district attorney files charges. Multiple counts of fraud, identity theft, and assault. The assault charge is for the drugging. Apparently, administering medication to someone without their knowledge or consent, even prescription medication, counts as assault in our state. Gerald explains this to Jake and me in his office. The DA is taking this seriously. They see it as a case of intimate partner abuse, and they're going for the maximum penalties. How much time could she get? Jake asks. If convicted on all counts? 10 to 15 years, potentially. Jake is quiet. I can't read his expression. How do you feel about that? I ask him. I don't know. Part of me wants her to pay for what she did, but part of me just wants it to be over. Does that make sense? Perfect sense. They'll want you to testify, Gerald says. Both of you. You okay with that? Jake nods slowly. Yeah, I think I am. The trial is set for 6 months out. In the meantime, life slowly returns to something resembling normal. Jake goes back to work full-time. He stops looking over his shoulder every time he's in public. He starts dating again, casual stuff, nothing serious, just learning how to interact with women without fear. Anne and I restart our Sunday dinners with him, but they're different now. Lighter, more honest. We talk about things we never talked about before. Mental health, relationships, what it means to be happy. Eric Hartwell disappears from public life. I hear through the grapevine that he's moved out of state, trying to rebuild somewhere his name doesn't carry the stink of scandal. His wife Jennifer sends me a bottle of expensive whiskey with a note. Thank you for helping me see the truth. I drink a glass of it that night, alone in my office, and think about how quickly lives can fall apart, how fragile everything really is, but also how resilient people can be when they're given the chance. 4 months after the charges are filed, I get a call from an unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Mr. Brennan, this is Christina Liu. I'm a reporter with Channel 7 News. I'm not interested in doing any more interviews. That's not why I'm calling. I'm working on a story about gambling addiction and intimate partner abuse. Your son's case has become something of a touchstone for these issues, and I was hoping to get your perspective on what families can do to help victims. My perspective is that families should trust their instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Don't ignore the signs. Can I quote you on that? Sure, but leave Jake's name out of it. He's been through enough? Of course. Thank you, Mr. Brennan. She hangs up, and I sit there thinking about all the families going through what we went through, all the people being manipulated, drugged, controlled by someone they love, all the parents watching their children suffer and not knowing how to help. At least Jake's story might help someone else. At least it means something. The trial starts on a cold Monday in October. The courthouse is packed with reporters, curious onlookers, and a few of Melissa's family members who still believe she's being railroaded. Jake and I both testify on the first day. Jake talks about the memory loss, the exhaustion, the feeling of being disconnected from his own life. His testimony is powerful and heartbreaking. When it's my turn, I present the evidence methodically. The videos, the bank statements, the timeline of events. The prosecutor leads me through each piece, making sure the jury understands the scope of what Melissa did. Melissa's lawyer tries to paint me as an overbearing father who couldn't let his son make his own choices. He asks if I've always been this controlling, if I approve of all of Jake's relationships, if maybe I had other reasons for wanting to break up his marriage. I keep my cool. I wanted to save my son's life. That's my only motivation. But you installed cameras without his knowledge. You invaded his privacy. I did, and I'd do it again if it meant protecting him from someone who was slowly destroying him. The lawyer doesn't like that answer, but there's not much he can do with it. The evidence speaks for itself. Melissa testifies on the third day. She cries on the stand, talks about her gambling addiction like it's a disease that overtook her, claims she never meant to hurt Jake. She admits to the affair with Eric, calling it a mistake she made in a moment of weakness, but she denies drugging Jake. She claims he took the Ambien willingly, that he had trouble sleeping, and she was just trying to help. She denies forging his signature on the loan documents, saying he signed them himself and just doesn't remember because of the medication. It's a desperate strategy, and it doesn't work. The prosecutor tears her story apart on cross-examination, pointing out the inconsistencies, the implausibility of her claims. By the time he's done, even Melissa's family members look doubtful. The jury deliberates for 6 hours. When they come back, the verdict is unanimous. Guilty on all counts. The judge sentences her to 12 years in prison with the possibility of parole after 8. She collapses in court, sobbing, while her mother screams that it's too harsh, too cruel. Jake sits beside me, stone-faced. When it's over, we walk out of the courthouse together into the October air. How do you feel? I ask. Empty. I thought I'd feel satisfied or vindicated, but I just feel empty. That'll pass. Give it time. Will it? Yes. Because you're free now, Jake. Really free. She can't hurt you anymore. He nods, but I can see he's not convinced. Not yet. That night, Anne and I have dinner with Jake at our house. We don't talk about the trial or Melissa or any of it. Instead, we talk about Jake's plans for the future. He's thinking about going back to school, studying architecture like he always wanted. He's thinking about selling the house, starting fresh somewhere new. I want to be someone I'm proud of, he says, not someone who let himself be destroyed. You already are someone to be proud of, Anne says. You survived something most people couldn't survive. You fought back. You're here. Mom's right, I add. You're stronger than you know, Jake. You always have been. He smiles at us, and this time it reaches his eyes. Thanks. For everything. For not giving up on me. For fighting for me even when I couldn't fight for myself. That's what family does, I say simply. After dinner, Anne and I stand on the porch and watch Jake drive away. His taillights disappear around the corner, and Anne leans against me. We did it, she whispers. We saved him. We did. What happens now? Now we let him heal. We let him rebuild. And we hope that whatever he becomes, whoever he becomes, he's happy. Do you think he will be happy? Eventually. It'll take time, but yes, I think he will be. She takes my hand, and we stand there in the cool October air, watching the stars come out one by one. The war is over. We won. 6 months after the trial, Jake sells his house. He gets a decent price for it despite the history, enough to pay off what's left of his debts and have some money left over. He rents an apartment downtown, a modern place with big windows and hardwood floors. It doesn't have any memories, no ghosts. He enrolls in architecture school at the State University, a 2-year program that'll give him the credentials he needs to start over in his dream career. I offer to pay for it, but he refuses. I need to do this myself, Dad. I need to prove I can. I understand. He needs to rebuild his sense of self, his confidence. Letting me pay would feel like charity, like he can't take care of himself. So I back off and let him handle it his own way. He struggles at first. Years of being told he's not good enough, not smart enough, not talented enough don't disappear overnight. But slowly, week by week, I see him coming back. The Jake I remember from before Melissa. The Jake who smiled easily and talked about his dreams with enthusiasm. Anne sees it too. He's going to be okay, she says one Sunday as we're cleaning up after dinner. Really okay. I know. And you? Are you okay? I think about that. Am I okay? I'm not sure. The rage that drove me for months, the burning need for justice and revenge, has faded. In its place is something quieter. Satisfaction, maybe. Or just exhaustion. I'm getting there, I tell her. You did the right thing, David. You know that, right? I know I did what I had to do. Whether it was right, I shrug. I guess history will decide that. I'm deciding it right now. You saved our son. That's all that matters. Maybe she's right. Maybe that is all that matters. Eric Hartwell surfaces briefly in the news when his business files for bankruptcy. Turns out losing all his partners and his reputation had consequences. I feel a brief flicker of satisfaction reading about it, but mostly I just feel tired. Jennifer Hartwell sends another note, this time just 2 words. Thank you. I don't respond. We're not friends. We're just 2 people who helped each other destroy a common enemy. There's nothing more to say. Meanwhile, Jake thrives. His professors praise his work. He starts to date a woman named Emily, a fellow architecture student with kind eyes and an easy laugh. He brings her to Sunday dinner, and Anne and I watch them together, the way they talk and laugh and finish each other's sentences. She's good for him, Anne says later. She is, but I'm watching her carefully. David, you can't... I know I can't protect him from everything, but I can be vigilant. I can make sure he's with someone who deserves him. And if she's not, then I'll deal with it. Anne shakes her head, but she's smiling. You're impossible. I'm a father. It's my job to be impossible. 1 year after Melissa's conviction, I get a letter from her. It's forwarded through Gerald's office, per the restraining order that Jake filed after the trial. The envelope is thin, the handwriting shaky. I debate whether to open it. What could she possibly have to say to me? What words could undo what she did? But curiosity wins out. I open the envelope and read, Mr. Brennan, I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect Jake to forgive me. I'm writing this because my therapist says I need to take accountability for what I did. I destroyed your son's life. I lied to him, stole from him, drugged him, cheated on him. I used him until there was nothing left to use. I told myself I loved him, but love doesn't look like what I did. I have a gambling addiction. That's not an excuse, just a fact. I'm getting treatment for it here. Group therapy, individual therapy, medication. It's hard. Some days I still want to bet, to feel that rush. But I'm learning to live without it. I think about Jake every day. I think about how I broke him, how I took someone good and kind and turned him into someone afraid and hollow. If I could take it back, I would, but I can't. All I can do is live with what I did and try to become someone who wouldn't do it again. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know that I understand what I did. I understand why you fought so hard to stop me. If I had a child, I would have done the same. I'm sorry, Melissa. I read the letter twice, then put it in my desk drawer. I don't show it to Jake. He doesn't need to know. He's moved on, building a new life, and her apology won't change anything. But I keep the letter. Maybe someday, years from now, he'll want to read it. Or maybe not. Either way, it's his choice. That Sunday, Jake brings Emily to dinner again. This time, he has news. I got an offer, he says, barely able to contain his excitement. From Morrison and Associates, the firm I used to work for. They want me back, but this time in their design department. It's a junior architect position, but it's exactly what I've been working toward. That's wonderful. Anne hugs him. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations, son. I shake his hand and he pulls me into a hug. I couldn't have done it without you, Dad. Without you fighting for me. You did this yourself. I just helped clear the path. You did more than that. You saved my life. We have a celebratory dinner, toasting Jake's new job, his new apartment, his new relationship with Emily. And for the first time in years, I look at my son and see nothing but potential. No darkness, no fear, no shadows. Just a man with his whole life ahead of him. Later, after Jake and Emily leave, Anne and I sit on the porch with glasses of wine. It's really over, isn't it? She says. Yes, it's really over. What now? Now we live our lives. We enjoy our son, we build our business, we grow old together. The normal stuff. The normal stuff sounds pretty good. It does? We sit in comfortable silence, watching the stars come out. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barks. A car drives by. Normal sounds of a normal evening in a normal life, and that's exactly what we fought for. The chance to be normal again.